All right, Bismillah. And I believe we are live. Riz, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to take a quick minute. I know it's, I don't want to keep you waiting, but I just want to make sure we're live in the group before we start dropping some knowledge bombs. Inshallah. So let me just go ahead and make sure that this thing is actually broadcasting. And
I can see it on my laptop, so it probably is.
You can? Okay, awesome. So that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Alhamdulillah. So Riz, before we kind of get started, can you just tell us a bit about who you are?
Well, my full name is actually Riz Shabbir, but okay. I just keep it short for Riz because people always get my name wrong and it really annoys me. So, and I am, or have been, most of my career has been in social work and helping people. People from all walks of life, people with lots of vulnerabilities, young people that are involved in gangs with mental health issues. So I've always been in this space of helping people, despite not being like qualified in that area. So I was able to kind of navigate and like become like a mentor for young people, really, and helping them with their day-to-day life. And I did that for like 12 years.
Awesome.
And it taught me so much about people and about life and the different stories that people have, which I was always fascinated with. And I've always enjoyed the fact that I could make some sort of positive impact on their lives. And things just happened in my own personal life, which kind of got me thinking that I needed to do something for myself because I needed the flexibility. Marriage failing was one of those things that kind of, I got to a place, I think, where and I think most people can relate to this, is you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So then it's like something's got to give here. And I think those are the moments where we actually end up changing the course of our lives.
100%.
Happened to me when my my marriage ended. That was the first thing. And then secondly, it was just the workload. My mum, she got quite sick with breast cancer, and I wasn't able to sort of be there for her the way that I wanted to be there for her, because work always got in the way. It's such a full-on job. It's 24/7. So, and I've always had this kind of entrepreneurial spirit within me. I always wanted to help people, didn't know what that looked like, didn't know how I was going to do it. The coaching world was just totally like, I was oblivious to it. Until one day I was like online on Facebook and I started following this lady who was talking about helping people online, and totally different universe for me, like poles apart. And so before
you continue,
coach. Sorry, am I jumping too far ahead?
No, yeah, before, because there's a few things that I want to like comment on it and then flesh out before we continue, because you're dropping so much like that we can talk about. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Before you got to that point where you like, once you saw that world, like you're like, okay, there's people out there, there's entrepreneurs, there's coaches, they're actually like building a business where they're helping other people, using their own skills. You mentioned you went through a lot of things in your life that have forced you to become a certain type of person, work on your mindset. When you saw that, were you in a position where you felt like, okay, this is something that I wanted to do, or I was capable of doing this, or were you still just kind of thinking about it? Was it not even in the realm of possibility? Where was your mindset at that point?
My mindset at that point was just like, because I had sort of done it for 12 years, I was like, I think I'm going to be really good at this, because I've always been able to, get people, talk to them on their level, understand them, and I have a natural gift of empathy towards people as well, myself in other people's shoes. And I think coaching was just like a way in which I could express that.
Makes sense.
And help others in that way.
That's awesome. So when you saw
where I was at, I'm like, the 12 years of coaching teaches you a lot.
For sure, 100%, mashallah. So now, from when you were introduced to that world to now, where you actually, like, when it was just an idea, like, okay, I could go and start this business, and this is something that I could potentially be doing instead of working a full-time job that's taking me away from my family, the people that I love. When you realize that, from that point to the point where you actually got to where you're like, okay, like I can actually, like I have this business going now, and it's active and I'm working on getting clients, how much time was there between when it was just an idea and when you actually were able to build that business? How much time did that take?
Oh, I think definitely up until, I think it took about a year and a half.
So still a lot of time and a lot of
Yeah,
dedication to
it is.
building it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a year and a half. But without trying to badmouth anybody, it was just a case of not having the right guidance.
Okay.
And like people, I think they kind of forget, because they're so far ahead with their kind of journey, on their entrepreneurial journey. You know, they've got their systems in place and everything, but they forget that somebody who's not been in this kind of circle doesn't know anything about it. So it's kind of got to be spoon fed. So the
100%.
guidance lacked a lot, and things were made overcomplicated, because when you're a coach and you're in touch with so many other coaches and you're looking at, oh, that person's doing this and that's working for them, and that person's doing this and that's working for them, it just becomes a lot of noise, and you get really lost in what it is. Like, what am I trying to do here?
Yeah.
Because if I go around saying I'm a mindset coach, people aren't really going to understand what that means. So it's like breaking that down further and further and further, getting to a point which you took me to, you know, which was actually being very specific about what it is that I do.
Right. That's amazing.
That in itself has been a very long journey.
I can imagine. 100%. And you mentioned like such an amazing point that you bring up, Riz. And this is the reason why I want to bring you on this interview, because you have a knack for like sharing with others your story in a way that actually like gives so much value. So I do appreciate that, in a way where you shared something important, and it's the fact that the reason why it took you so long, where it took you over a year, is because you knew what you wanted to do, but you didn't have the right guidance, the right steps to take to get to where you want to be. So that actually cost you a lot of time.
A lot of time and a lot of money.
Right. Because you spent a lot of money on things that you thought were going to work, and they didn't work out. And
100%. And I'm not talking small amounts of money. I'm talking multiple thousands of pounds. Multiple. Right. A lot of money. Coaching is not cheap, especially if you're working with people for a year or for 6 months or whatever it is that, you know, entices you to work with them. But yeah, I mean, it was multiple thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I didn't get anything from it. I did get a lot from it, but not what I needed, if that makes sense.
100%. The information because that's the thing, there isn't a lack of information out there for anyone that's trying to start a business, that's trying to maybe become a coach, a consultant, do something online, and they're thinking about this, they were considering it just like where you were. It's never a lack of information. There's a ton of information out there. There's a ton of people that offer different programs, different courses and things, but it's just about, okay, what information do I need to make it work for me, right? Like, because every person is different. They have a different way of viewing the world, a different way of doing business, a different thing that they want to do in their business. And so they need not only guidance, but the right guidance is a very important point that you bring up, because you had guidance, you've worked with mentors, you worked with coaches, but it still didn't get you to where you wanted to be, because it wasn't the right type of guidance, the right type of guidance that you're looking for. That's an amazing point. So from then on, that point, again, it took you like a year and a half. I know eventually, alhamdulillah, we met up, we got to work together. We got to break down some things in your business and kind of help you rebuild them in a way that is sustainable and that you can get to. So what was that transformation like, where you figured out like, what was it that you were doing wrong? And then what did you figure out that we worked on that kind of helped you transform it positively in your business, that helped you kind of reach that milestone of?
I mean, it's not just one thing, but the main thing that I can honestly say was I was overcomplicating everything.
Okay.
I was confused as hell. I did not understand, even if somebody like even asked me, and I remember, I think I shared this with you previously as well, that I was at a networking event and somebody asked me what I did, and it just turned into this really long spiel about what I did. And I, in my own head, I was thinking, oh my God, you're just full of so much crap right now. Even you don't know what you're doing anymore. And I was like, it's like for a whole month before I found you, I was in this kind of like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm so lost. I just need some kind of help and guidance. And then, you know what, life took another funny turn, and my business kind of became my savior. Like, it was saving me from thinking about things that I had no control over.
Right.
So I buried myself into that. as you came on with your 5-day free program that you did. And I think you really kind of helped to simplify things for me, to really even that 5-day challenge, like it was so mind-blowing for me how simple everything was and
That's
how
awesome.
complicated I was making it.
Yeah.
And that for me was like the one thing. And then I remember that obviously at the end of the 5 days, there was going to be like this announcement that you were going to make. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, how much is this going to cost? Because I really need to work with this person. And, just trying to rate that credit card or whatever, because I just knew that I needed your help. But you know what? Alhamdulillah, Allah listened and we found a way and we did it.
To work it out. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. It was honestly, and it's been an amazing journey since then. I mean, working with you, working with all the other Muslim entrepreneurs out there, and kind of helping you guys figure out what kind of business you want to build and helping you build it. Because I feel like that's the thing, is there is so much out there in terms of information, in terms of guidance. I mean, there's been a lack of information out there, but the truth is, you need someone that's been there, done that, to kind of tell you, okay, this is what you need to focus on. And you need to kind of block out all the other noise, because there's a lot of noise out there. And you need to know, okay, what do I need to focus on to kind of build a business that I want to build? Mm-hmm. So Riz, now that you're where you are today, kind of what was that? I would say I have 2 questions for you. Number one, what's kind of the biggest difference between where you are right now in your business and where you were? Like, what kind of difference is that? What does that look like? Is it you're getting more clients now? Do you have more traction? Do you have a bigger audience? What change was done, or what change resulted in your business from us working together?
The list is endless, but there's lots of small things that have happened that have turned into big things. So before, where I was totally lost with my message or what I wanted to do, I have gone from having created a 6 to 8 week program and having tested it on beta clients. Amazing. Like, people were interested in what I had to offer, and they're engaged in the program. And, it's kind of like just tweaking it and getting it ready to go. But then COVID happened. So it's 100%. Like everyone's like, oh, okay, you got to take a step back a little bit. But, maybe it's just an opportunity for us to maybe revisit something that we're missing out on, and just to incorporate that in there. Just give that time to kind of be still in a space and just focus on the things that actually matter.
100%. I mean,
and tweak things around.
100%. Like, I agree. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people will take this opportunity now, like what's happening with COVID, as you mentioned, to kind of say, okay, like, things are crazy outside. Let me just go ahead and like kind of shut myself in, binge a few Netflix TV series, spend time with the family, and kind of, I'm feeling stressed out. And they'll use it as an excuse not to be productive. But there's so much that you can do, whether you don't have a business yet or you already have a business. Even for me, with Ummahpreneur, we were running advertising, we were running marketing for the brand, and then COVID hit, and it's like, okay, like, marketing isn't working right now because people don't necessarily want to spend money or purchase. So what do? Well, there's other ways that we can give value, that we can grow our community, just like here in the Facebook group and other different ways that I'm doing for my brand, that you can take a look at it and get inspired by. And I encourage all of you to do that. And even for you, Riz, you have your own Facebook group. You keep posting on your profile. You're always giving value, giving content. So you're still kind of building relationships with your audience, right? Like, you're still working on things that you can work on, even though it might not necessarily be the best time to get clients. But it's a great time to build a personal brand and to build a community and to build an audience, right?
Definitely, 100%. There's always something that we can be doing.
100%. Exactly. And even for someone that didn't even get started, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better time. Most people are working from home. They have more time available to themselves, so they can just take the time they need to go through some training, to go through some courses, to read, to learn more, inshallah. So that's awesome. So Riz, now that you're actually Mindset Coach, and I have you here on the live, I want to ask you, what kind of advice do you have to people that are going through this, like that are going through this whole COVID situation, and that might feel a bit stressed out, that may feel like, like, this is, I'm trying to be productive, I'm trying to be focused on things that are good for me, but like, it's just that negative energy is really, it's weighing me down. What can we do?
I mean, whatever you're feeling at the moment, whether it's fear, whether it's, some sort of scarcity, you have to sit with those feelings for a while and honor them, right? Because they're natural feelings. You can't just go head on and start to counteract those feelings and start a war within yourself. Okay. It's about acknowledging the fact that, yes, this is happening. Yes, this is out of my control. yes, there's not a lot I can do about this right now. And I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm inside my home, I have food, I have my family around me. So,
Alhamdulillah, of course.
it's just about kind of really keeping yourself grounded and keeping yourself present in the moment. And the quickest way to do that, in my understanding, would be either like before you even get to the stage that I'm going to talk about, just journal your feelings, just get them out of your head and onto paper, whatever it is. Be honest with yourself, be open with yourself, share. I mean, it's just between you and, if you want to talk to God through that, it's up to you. But just get it out on paper. And once you're done with it, put it aside. It's kind of done and dusted. And it actually really does help a process, because it's from your head, it's gone to paper. From your paper, it's gone to the bin. You've destroyed it. It's done.
100%.
Right? So it's like a kind of commitment you've made to yourself that you've taken it out and it's gone now. It's you see it happening, right? So it's a visual for that. Then I would say definitely start with gratitude, because that will be your best friend through thick and thin. It's very easy for us to sit here and be grateful when things are going great. But the real test is when things are being taken away from you slowly, and you still find something to be grateful to Allah for. I think that's very, very powerful. And I definitely believe in the power of gratitude. 100%. So just before you go to bed or first thing in the morning, take your journal out, dedicate a whole book to it, and just write down 10 things you're grateful for and why. And just grow that every single day. And I think you'll start to see mind shifts happening.
100%. You brought a really interesting point that I think is extremely powerful. And it's something that not a lot of people leverage, but it's so easy to leverage. And it's the fact that when you feel like you have something bothering you inside, like, and especially for me, like I'm someone that comes from a background where I did have anxiety before and I was struggling with a lot of things. And when you have something inside of you that bothers you, one of the most effective ways of dealing with it, and it's something you brought up, and it's to take it out of your mind, out of within you, and put it on paper, because just that very act in itself helps you kind of release that attachment to what it is you're feeling, right? It helps you release that attachment instead of, okay, this feeling is not me. It's just something that I'm feeling now, and I'm putting it on paper. I can see it in front of me, and that act in itself is so powerful. Because as you mentioned, when you do that, it kind of goes out of you. It's almost like a spiritual disconnect, which is beautiful. And then you replace that with gratitude, 100%. So it's honestly, it's not complicated. It's just about doing it, and that's the thing. Like just making sure that you actually do it. But yeah, I personally think this COVID thing is a blessing in disguise. Not to say, of course, there's people that are impacted, and may Allah grant them shifa, grant them wellness, and grant them safety. But what I'm noticing generally is a lot more people are using this opportunity to, number one, get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, revive their spirituality, work on things they might have ignored a long time, rebuild their connections with their families, their friends. So I just see it as a way for everyone to take a break and reevaluate their priorities in life, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of especially in the Muslim sort of communities out there, that there's a lot of sort of emphasis going on about this is a punishment from God. And I'm really, I don't accept that for 1 minute. I honestly see it as an awakening for everybody.
I agree.
And it's really unfortunate that Muslims sit there and they enjoy playing the victim card all the time. And sometimes we need to snap out of it ourselves, whether it's politics, whether it's whatever it is. We always seem to be, oh, this is happening to us. First of all, there has to be a reframe here. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. What is this 100%. Trying to teach you? What is this trying to teach you? Right now, people's finances are in question. Their livelihood is in question. Jobs are in question. There's people out there that are fighting tooth and nail in the frontline services. You know, they don't know they're taking the COVID back home with them. Do you understand? There's so much going on right now. Everything that we took for granted in our existence has now been brought into question. It's like everything is irrelevant now. And it's almost as if Allah's saying, you had no time for me, so now I've taken everything off of you. You're still going to say you don't have time.
100%. I agree completely. SubhanAllah, like you bring up such a beautiful point, and it's very true that this should be an opportunity for you 100% to just take that time to reconnect, reevaluate your priorities. And again, you said jobs are in question, income is in question. Like this is the time, guys. Like put some time aside in your day to not only revive your spirituality, but also nurture your mind, nurture your body, eat healthy food, exercise in the morning, go on YouTube, do these like body weight home workouts, and take some time to go through some training, go through some courses, look at what other opportunities are out there for you. Can you build a life for yourself? Can you build a business? Can you do something using your skills that can pay you dividends in the future, that can give you a return on your investment? You know, instead of always being reliant on employers and jobs, like, you do something for yourself. Can you build a brand, you know, with using your own skills? Like, and that's the thing about entrepreneurship that I was talking to someone else about this morning. I had a call with Abdul Shakur in this group, awesome guy. And we were talking about one thing, which is really cool, is that entrepreneurship is pretty much building something out of nothing. And that's what, and I'm sure you feel that way, Riz, and I'll let you comment on that, because it's like you're kind of building you're this person, and you're like, all right, I'm going to build this business, and I'm going to create an income for myself out of nothing, out of just me and who I am and what I can offer to the world. And can you comment on that? Like, how does that feel like? Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement. And I think that statement is extremely powerful, what you've just said. It is me. And that brings up a lot of stuff for a lot of people, because it brings up the confidence that you have in yourself, the confidence you have in your skill, the fact that you become your brand. Right. You know, it brings up a lot of fears as well. But I think that once you kind of overcome all of that, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I mean, 100%. If you're setting out to help people and that is your ultimate goal, is to move a person from point A to point B, I mean, you're changing lives, aren't you? And that's 100%. The bigger picture. And 100%. Obviously leaving a legacy behind.
Of course. And what would you say, Riz, just kind of quick question, because a lot of people, that's their objection. And I think you've heard it before a lot. And all of us have heard it before. You're someone that's done it. You're someone that's taken what you can do. You've seen, okay, I can help people in this way. I can kind of shift people's mindsets and in turn shift their lives and the trajectory of their lives. What would you say to someone that kind of is you from like 2 years ago, where they don't really know yet that they have this ability to create an impact, to make a transformation on others, to help others, to service others? They think, well, I don't have any skills that I can provide as a service, or I don't have anything that I can contribute, you know? And it's a very unfortunate, because every person has something that they can contribute. What would you say to that? What would you say to Riz from 2 years ago, who's just didn't even know this was a possibility?
First of all, I'd say have faith. In the fact that you will find a way. Focus on the solutions and you'll find a solution. Focus on the problems and your problems are going to grow, right? So I would say definitely have faith in what it is that you want. You'll come to your conclusion or your answers when the time is right. It will happen. It's a process. And I think that trusting that process is a key thing. And every day, I'm sure it's even the same for you. You have to trust the process every single day. Yeah, every time you wake up, it doesn't stop, like, because every day you wake up, there's a new challenge, there's a new something that's going on. Yeah. And I would say that having a big vision of how you want to impact other people, that helps to keep you going as well. And the skills that we have, I mean, I believe that Allah has blessed every single person with a gift, right?
Of course, and it's 100%, 100%.
It's up to us that we find it and then we utilize it to the benefit of other people. That's why we have these gifts. So I think to really maybe approach somebody that can help you really fine tune what it is that you can offer, what your gifts are, what your talents are. Quite often they're very simple and they are the thing that is the most easiest for you to do.
Right.
Whatever that thing is your gift. Yeah, it's right, exactly. Because the brain for some reason just loves to overcomplicate everything. Yeah. So it tries to fish for, complications and reasons. But quite often it's something that's staring you right in the face, something that you've always done naturally. And for me, I know it's coaching, because from when I was like schoolgirl getting on the bus, or to have strangers coming and talking to me and telling me their problems, out of nowhere.
You had the energy. You had the people knew, like, this person could solve
like my problems.
You gave on that great listener vibe. Yeah. And it's funny because it's like there's a few people like that, right? Like there's a few people like that where it's like, I'm sure we all know a few people in our lives like that, where it's like they give off that vibe where like when you see them, you're just like, oh, I just want to tell you everything. And like, you just feel comfortable with them instantly. And it's obviously certain
but the
energy.
funny thing is most people, like, I don't know, it's a paradox. Either some people get really put off by me or some people are like, I want to tell you my life story. So it's like, seems to not be a balance in between.
Yeah, but that's the thing. These people that tell you, you know, that's not for me. These are not your people, and that's something that we stressed and we talked about in the program when we worked together.
Definitely, yeah.
And I'm happy to see there's a few people on. By the way, just real quick, if you guys are on, just drop a hashtag live in the comments, guys, to let me know you're here, inshallah, so I can interact with you. And if you guys have any questions for Riz or for me, put it in the comments, and I'll make sure to pop it up. We have one now, and I'll pull it up for you in a second. But one thing I want to mention is, and we spoke about, it's that a lot of people, they might start a business or they might, you know, work as a coach, and they might reach out to a few people again and get a few no's, right? Like people that aren't interested. And it's important to know, and it's important to always remember that whoever tells you no, whoever doesn't want to work with you or they're not interested, these are simply not your people. And as a business, you're just looking for you're going to love you. The people are going to be your tribe, right? So what you need to do is you need to find your people. And if someone tells you no, well, that's awesome. That makes it easier for you. Now you know this person is not my person. That person's not part of my tribe. That's not the person for me. Let me move on and go somewhere else, and find the people that actually will resonate with my message and with me as a person. And that's what coaching and what consulting and what business is all about. Honestly, it's about finding your tribe and building that community, these people that you're going to serve, inshallah. So Riz, quick question. When someone asks what features of a coaching program are most appealing to you, so I guess what they mean by features of a coaching program, they mean like, I guess, what parts of a coaching program are most appealing to you? So maybe what do you love about coaching? What's something you do in coaching that you find really enjoyable, that you find every program should have? Any advice on that?
I think I love the ability to connect with somebody, and especially when they have certain shifts inside either their mindset or their business or their relationships. Well, when they come back and tell you, oh my God, this happened, that happened, because you know you said this, that, and the other. I think those are probably like the most. Those are the moments that I live for.
Right. So
I just absolutely love that. That there has to be an element of moving somebody from one place to the other during that program, not right at the end of it, but during it.
Right. So to kind of recap, and I love what you bring up, because it's simple, it's straightforward, but it's actually the most important part of a coaching program, which is there has to be, I guess, in feature of a coaching program, there has to be some sort of progression. Like, what's the end result that you're bringing to your clients? Like, what are you helping them achieve, and what are the steps to getting there? And breaking that down and helping them go through every single step. That's the most important thing. And that really is what anyone should be focusing on if they're thinking of starting a coaching, consulting business, a service-based client business, right? It's that. It's what are you trying to bring for your clients? Because it's easy to say, I'm a mindset coach, I'm a digital marketer, I'm a personal trainer, cool. But what's the end result? Like what's the progression that you're taking your clients through? What transformation are they going through? And how can you get them to where they want to be, right? That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So for me, I want the people that I work with to have that self-belief in themselves, and to know that to know their self-worth. I want them to have their self-belief. I want them to know that they can achieve their highest potential. They can, whatever that looks like, whether that's climbing the corporate ladder to the top, whether that's having an online business, whether that's being financially free and having 10 houses around the world, whatever it is, like no dream is too big. And, we can get on the path to achieving that. I think that is just to remove those fears and those blocks and those stories that we tell ourselves every single day that we don't deserve this, or I don't have enough time for this, I don't have enough money for this. Just get rid of all of those negative stories that we've been brainwashed from a very young age, that we believe. I mean, those stories have got us to this point today, and we're not happy. So something has to change in order for your life to change with it. So
100%.
Yeah.
100% agreed. And that's the thing. And that's why coaches are so important. And especially I think mindset coaching is extremely valuable, because you're helping someone kind of overcome whatever it is that's stopping them from achieving their full potential in a nutshell, right? Like you're telling someone, all right, listen, what's stopping you right now from building that business, from getting that job, from having the relationship that you want, from living the life that you want? And usually most of the time it's themselves, right? There's something that they're not doing. There's something that they are not taking action on because they might have some sort of subconscious feeling that they're not worth it, or they're not worthy, or there may be things in their life that they've been through that are kind of putting a blockage and they don't even notice, right? It could be something super small, but unless you have someone on the outside that's helping you uncover that, it's going to be very difficult to do it yourself. I just want to say salam to Abdul and Cherry and everyone else that's on the live. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It's awesome to have you. Riz, let's go ahead and finish off with, I think we've had an amazing time. I just want to thank you so much for all the value you've shared. Let's finish.
No, thank you.
Awesome. Honestly, it's been amazing. And I hope, inshallah, that more people join and just get the value out of this, because I believe you dropped so many knowledge bombs.
Thank you.
How can people work with you? How can people, if they need more help, they're like, okay, Riz, like what you're saying makes sense. I know that I've tried a bunch of things in my life, and I always, for some reason, feel like there's something stopping me. Like I'm not committing. I'm not going through with it. I might need more help. I'd like your advice. How can they reach out to you? What's the best way to connect with you?
So I think the best way to connect with me would be via Facebook. I can you can drop my link below, and you can message me on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram as well, but I'm not that active yet.
Okay.
Because obviously now we're going to grow all the platforms because we've got the time. So just drop the handles at the bottom.
Inshallah. Okay, so we'll drop Riz's calendar link in the comments, guys, or you can reach out to her. I'll have you comment so people can like message you if they need to. And to kind of close this off, what would you say right now? Words of encouragement. We work together under the Ummahpreneur brand, under the Client Business Launch Program. Alhamdulillah, you had amazing results. What would you say to someone that's considering joining any program that we offer or some sort of coaching that we offer at Ummahpreneur? What would you say to someone about our services, about what we do here with this brand?
Oh, don't even hesitate. Just do it, because you're going to get so much more value than you can ever imagine. Like 100%. Like, it still blows my mind the amount of, like, when I log onto the portal and I see the amount of information that's on there, the amount of help, like, Abby just gives you everything. Like, there's no, like, he leaves you with no excuses to say, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do that. It's like, no, I'm just cutting that out right now. Right. Here it is. Here's the links. This is how you do it. Here's a tutorial on how you do it. So he just goes in so deep, and, he kind of like inspires you to be more organized as well, because that's another story for another day for me, I suppose. But yeah, definitely amazing value. I mean, even the free program that he does, like, oh my God, that blew my mind. Absolutely.
Alhamdulillah. I'm really happy to hear that. Honestly, it's been awesome. And honestly, working with you has been awesome as well under the Ummahpreneur brand, and just like coaching you has been great. So guys, you heard it yourself. Riz, one last thing. I know I've been saying one last thing for the last 2 things, but really one last thing this time. What would you say to someone right now that's stuck at home? They're like, all right, my job isn't secure. My job's uncertain. You've clearly built a business, Riz. You didn't go to university to study psychology. You didn't go to any accreditations. You've realized you have a skill. You have something that you can offer to the world. And you're like, all right, I'm going to build a business, and I'm going to do this because I know I can serve and I know I can make a difference. What would you say to someone, again, that's kind of in this position? They're in a position where they might have lost their job. They're uncertain. They don't know what to do. What would you tell that person? What should they focus on? What should they work on? Should they work on building a business? What should they do exactly?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think you have to, everybody, whether you've got a job, whether you've got a business, not, you all have to start thinking about different ways of making money, different ways of creating the life that you want, so that, God forbid, if we're ever in this situation again, we're not blindsided by anything.
Right. 100%.
So, but I know, we plan and Allah plans, and He's the best of all planners, because no one saw this coming either. But it's a learning curve, right? Yeah. So definitely look into it, start learning. I think self-awareness in this will probably be key, so that you can figure out what your talents are, what you want to do, how you want to help people, because that is crucial. Yeah. And also keep the learning going, get in touch with the people that can help you move from, A to B, and just go for it, because I think this is, like I said earlier, this is a wake up call for everybody.
Awesome.
And we all just need to like get on and start thinking about how we're going to move away from this situation and
100%.
into a better place, because this is demanding us to step up now on all levels, in every level you can think of.
100%. It's a huge wake up call. I love the word wake up call. It's a huge wake up call. It's time for you guys to, all right, let's take this time. Let's connect spiritually, nurture your mind, nurture your body, nurture your spirit, guys. So make sure you go through all the trainings that are in the group, that are resources available to you. I'll be releasing more, inshallah, in the coming weeks. Make sure that you check out what we have to offer at Ummahpreneur. Make sure that you reach out to Riz if you have some mindset blocks, if you have things that are stopping you from success. And just make sure that you stay active and that you contribute to the group, inshallah, because we're going to keep giving you value inside. Riz, thank you so much for doing this interview, for hopping on, sharing your words and your knowledge. It's been awesome. I'll drop your link in the comments. And again, thank you to everyone that attended. And again, I'll see you next week, inshallah, on Wednesday, same time, and we'll do another interview, inshallah. So Riz, thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.